Republicans and future Republicans, welcome to a brand new video. Today, there is a press briefing that just took place. This press briefing happened 2 hours ago. I did not see it yet, but I am very excited because apparently, they tried to call her out for literal crap. They tried to say, I heard that one of the people Trump deported was actually deported and wrongly. And her response is like literally listing a list of crimes the person was deported for. So I am so here for it. All right. Like, oh my God. Dude, I really want someone to ask her, cryo Trump every 4 years, endless terms. Listen, the Nux memes are spreading and soon the whole world will speak in Nux. Definitely subscribe because I love covering the press briefings. It's basically all the shit that goes on in the world in a nutshell, and she makes everything worse by absolutely destroying the reporters, making them mad and try to get her back, and they end up making themselves look stupid. So this is literally a Nux holiday. Making reporters look stupid is my second favorite thing ever. All right, so quiet everybody. White woman about to speak.
Good afternoon. How are we? Great. Good to see you all.
She lied as easily as she breathed. Yeah. All right. Okay. Come on, dude. Hope you're all doing well, she says to the reporters. I mean, I hope they're doing well. The more they come back, the more content I get. It's a win for me. I love when reporters make themselves look stupid and propagate that to the entire world. You see, a lot of people think that my videos are educational news content. They're correct. However, more importantly than any of that, I like spreading the retardation to the world. It's a glorious day.
I want to start today by addressing the U.S. Army soldiers who went missing while conducting a mission to repair and tow an immobilized tactical vehicle in Lithuania in the early hours of March 25th. Tragically, 3 soldiers were found deceased in Lithuania yesterday, and it pains me to confirm that today, the 4th soldier was also found deceased. The President, the Secretary of Defense, and the entire White House are praying for the victims' friends and family during this unimaginable time. This is another stark reminder of the selfless sacrifice of our brave military men and women who risk their lives around the world every day to keep us safe. God bless them.
Oh my God.
On another note, at our southern border, there is more massive news. Southwest border crossings in March fell to the lowest level in American history.
Oh, shit. That's a dub. We take those. Everyone loved this, except for the people that were counting on the votes of the illegal immigrants in specific states that don't need voter ID. This is so sad. This is so sad. How long until Candace Owens blames the troops that died in Lithuania on the Jews? That's the real question.
Down 94% from March of last year.
Oh, I forgot. It's April Fool's. April Fool's Nux be like, oh man, I sure wish they let all those illegal immigrants into the country to vote. Evil Nux is retarded. I'm sure you're aware. April Fool's Nux, he doesn't get away with shit. You see, I celebrate April Fool's every day. Okay? Every day is April Fool's. The only day I don't celebrate is April 1st. All right? Let's make this clear. By the time this video ends up on YouTube, it'll probably be like April 2nd, so that's why we're okay. April Fool's Nux be like, hell yeah, let's elect retards.
Under President Biden, when 137,000 illegal aliens poured across our wide-open southern border. Thanks to
this is a bad thing because breaking the law is actually bad. Hot take.
President Trump's leadership, Border Patrol agents are now back to doing the jobs they signed up for, securing the border, rather than serving as travel agents for illegal aliens. The Los Angeles Times captured the Trump effect on the border with a recent article. Their headline read, California-Mexico border, once overwhelmed, is now nearly empty.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Hot take. Hot take. That's a good thing. I'm sure that there's some libtard out there literally crying, but pipe down, libtard. This is a massive W, all right? Now, literally, with the border closed and the Jews controlling the weather, everything is under control.
With so few migrants coming into the U.S., they wrote, shelters that once served migrants have completely closed.
Good.
Deportations of illegal aliens who threaten the safety of the American people are also continuing at a rapid pace.
Good.
Over the weekend...
Oh my God, this is so good. Oh my God. I love how people are mad about this. The fact that AOC loses her shit every time people get deported just goes to show that she was really counting on them for the votes. It's like, you gotta understand something impressive. I'm gonna have to whip out the handy dandy chart. All right, we gotta whip out the handy dandy chart. All right, pay no attention to this. This is just me explaining why Europe has become a dictatorship. No one cares. More importantly, how, this is an important lesson in politics. How to get votes. All right, now there are many ways to get votes. All right, everyone in politics needs to understand how to get votes. The first and most boring way, good policy. I know, it's boring, it's cringe, no one likes to hear it, but good policy. All right, the second way, lie. All right, so lying actually is a very effective strategy. Most politicians do it. It's pretty important. All right, let's be real. 3, illegal voters. You see, it actually is pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get a lot of votes if you could literally bring illegal voters into your voting offices where they vote. You see, I'm really glad we're all on the same page. These are 3 important ways. Good policies, lies, and getting illegal voters all are fantastic ways to get new votes. What do you think, guys? I think it's a fantastic idea. Oh, and 4 is call the other guy Hitler. It's another effective method. Hell yeah. If you call the other guy Hitler, that's another pretty effective way to get votes. So I'm really glad we were able to cover this. Thank you so much for joining Hot Take.
The United American people are also continuing at a rapid pace. Over the weekend, the United States military transferred a group of 17 violent criminals from the Nicaragua and MS-13 terrorist organizations to El Salvador. And an illegal alien who was released by the Biden administration into our country.
All right, so Biden is the guy that, well, maybe not directly, but it was the Biden administration that, in my humble opinion, humbly, and I say this with so much humility, April Fool's Nux is humble. Unlike other Nux, who's a bit of an asshole, April Fool's Nux is humble. I humbly say, whoever let this guy out of jail, and then this guy murders somebody, their blood is on the hands of the fucking empaths that didn't want to be racist.
Was just arrested in Georgia and charged with the horrific killing of Camellia Williams, a mother of 5 and grandmother. The suspect has now been indicted on charges of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, rape, aggravated sexual battery, and necrophilia.
What the fuck? Biden administration let this guy out after they caught him? This is a guy that they caught him and then they let him out? What a wonderful man. Holy shit. Oh my god. Murder, rape, and necrophilia, the big 3.
Which, for those who don't know, necrophilia is a sexual obsession with a corpse.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awful. Only people like Hassan Piker support people that are into murder, rape, and necrophilia. And that guy's kind of an asshole.
This suspect was...
Necrophilia is having sex with a dead body, since I have people in my chat asking me what that is.
Ordered to be removed in July 2023, but the Biden administration allowed him to stay.
Shout out to Biden! Biden! All 7 swing states, and they wonder why Trump won. I wonder why Trump won. Oh, it must be because Kamala Harris was black and they were all racist. Yeah, either that or that administration was letting necrophiliac rapist murderers out in the public. Now, I'm not one to kink shame on April Fool's Day, but...
This case represents the ruthless murderers.
All right, now I'm just gonna leave a question for the chat. I want you to think about this before you answer this in the comment section below. If you have sex with Biden, is it necrophilia? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. Do not spoil your answers for the class.
Rapists and pedophiles who Joe Biden and Democrats let into our country over the past 4 years through our southern border. They should have never been here in the first place. Keep this in mind the next time you see Democrats protesting future illegal alien removals from our country. President Trump is focused on fulfilling his greatest obligation, to keep the American people safe and to defend our country from violent invaders.
I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what every fucking president should do. Europe didn't get the memo. In case you don't know, I recently did a deep dive in what's going on in Europe. Europe is 100% fucked. I don't know if that video is going to be out on YouTube before this one or not. But holy lord, this shit's crazy over there.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, April 2nd, 2025, will go down as one of the most important days in modern American history. Our country has been one of the most open economies in the world, and we have the consumer base hands down, the best consumer base. But too many foreign countries have their markets closed to our exports. This is fundamentally unfair. The lack of reciprocity contributes to our large and persistent annual trade deficit that's gutted our industries and hollowed out key workforces. But those days of America, beginning tomorrow,
are over.
Being ripped off,
It is
are
a
over.
golden age.
A
golden age of America for Americans. If you're not American, it's an ice age. Dude, that joke is so good. This is like the third time I've said that. It's so good every time.
Workers and businesses will be put first under President Trump.
Wait, you mean that for the first time in the last 5 decades, America is actually putting America first? Do you mean that America is actually, like, has Americans as a goal? That's crazy, because when Congresswoman AOC, known for her brilliance in office, when she literally fights on behalf of the illegal immigrants more than Americans, and I thought that's what everyone should be rooting for in this country. This is a massive twist for me personally. I can't even believe it.
Just as he promised on the campaign trail. The president's historic action tomorrow will improve American competitiveness in every area of industry, reduce our massive trade deficits, and ultimately protect our economic and national security. President Trump's economic vision is rooted in common sense. America will offer companies the lowest taxes, energy costs, regulations, if they make their products right here in the United States and hire American.
Ultimately, the goal is the people of America, bringing jobs into America, bringing companies into America, no longer making America sit there and literally be the, the piggy bank of the world. No more of that shit. Israel apparently just dropped all tariffs on America, and I think that in every other country that expects fair trade evenly should follow suit. And I think that it's definitely the move. Like, for real. Stop, bro. Miss me with this shit. Oh my God. America needs to do what's best for America. They don't owe anyone else anything. Anything they do for anyone else is a favor.
American workers for the job. It's simple. If you make your product in America, you will pay no tariffs. We have already seen a number of the largest companies in the world respond to this economic approach. For example, Project Stargate, led by Japan-based SoftBank and US-based OpenAI, and Oracle, announced a $500 billion private investment in the United States-based artificial intelligence infrastructure.
Oh my God!
Apple announced a $500 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing and training. NVIDIA announced it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years in U.S.-based manufacturing.
Dude, is it just me, or is this like an objectively good thing for America? Like, I love how every country is like, America bad, America bad. How is America being so bad and mean to all of their allies? But every company in the world is just dumping a fuck ton of money into America. Like, realistically, I don't care about your booze. I've seen what makes you cheer.
And the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company TSMC announced a $100 billion investment in U.S.-based chips and manufacturing. These are just a few of the investment announcements that have already been made, and it is clear that President Trump's America First approach is already working.
It's happening.
In our new media seat today is Mark Halperin, the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Two-Way, a new live video platform that builds communities around
Two-Way
on interactive conversations with leaders and content creators from every subject area.
What? That's not a real thing. Two-way conversations like no other. It's live, two-way conversations. All right, that's not surprising. All right, okay. Interesting, never even heard of them.
Mark and his colleagues welcome all voices into discussions that...
They have 40,000 followers on Twitter, and their tweets get a solid 2 likes. Yeah, like, really, is this like a real thing? Their pinned tweet has 5 likes on it. I don't know, I feel like two gay, get out of here.
That are spirited but respectful. They have over 37.5 million video views, over 3.6 million watch time hours since the platform began.
3.6 million watch time hours. Dude, I got more views than their whole platform. All right, dude. All right, guy.
Just last year. This is new media in its truest sense, allowing the people to ask questions, make comments, and be an active part of engagement on the most important issues facing the country and our world. With that, Mark, please kick us
All
off
right,
and
Mark.
welcome to the briefing.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Appreciate it. I'll ask you a question about tariffs and then one from one members of our community
Sure.
about education. It's perceived by some that companies or countries, if they change their policies either before tomorrow or after tomorrow, can have the president alter what he's planning for that country or that sector. Is that a possibility? And if so, what factors the president consider in making those changes?
Well, the ultimate change
All right.
for these companies and these countries, Mark, will happen when they decide to do business in the United States of America.
Think, Mark, think. It's to bring shit into goddamn America. Come on, brother. Think, Mark.
And as I just laid out, they will face no tariffs at all if these companies choose to invest here in the United States and to move their production and their manufacturing here to the United States as well. As for tomorrow, the president will be addressing the decades of unfair trade practices that have ripped our country off and American workers off. It has hollowed out our middle class. It has destroyed our heartland, and the president is focused on reshifting our global economy to ensure that America
to be honest, it's a great thing. Everyone's mad for no reason. That's my favorite part about all of this. Like, literally everyone's mad for literally no reason. It's like every other country doesn't want to look at this objectively. They just want America to keep giving them money for free. And it's so frustrating. Look, I'm Canadian. I'm American. I live in both worlds, both the Canadian world and the American world. Yes, it's gonna be relatively shitty for Canada that America isn't giving them free piggyback rides to the supermarket and back. But realistically, why were there free piggyback rides this entire time? Yes, I'm sure that there are some LGBT activists in Afghanistan that weren't executed yet by the fucking ISIS. All right, I'm sure some of those guys are pretty upset that they got their funding cut. All right, I'm sure they're very upset about all of this. All right, think about it. That's probably really frustrating. But come on, brothers. Let's be reasonable for a second. If you live in the real world, you don't get a free ride. I don't know why America needed to be the free ride for the Western world.
Once again, the manufacturing superpower of the world.
So if they do something today or later in the week that's a pledge for future activity, would that be good enough potentially to alter the policy?
Again, the president has been looking at the very unfair trade practices of the past. Certainly, the president is always up to take a phone call, always up for a good negotiation, but he is very much focused on fixing the wrongs of the past and ensuring that American workers have a fair shake.
But Mr. President, I would like to negotiate with you on something. It's very important. And I don't mean to be frank, sir. But could we please have the Epstein files? That would be very cool. I would very much like to see that. That would be epic. Thank you. You can even redact your own name. Just leave everyone else's names. Just give us something. Come on, Mr. Donald, sir. Come on, bro.
So
Give us the Epstein files. Hell yeah. I'm very excited for them to release the Epstein files, and it's like not gonna talk about Jews. And then Candace Owens is gonna say, the reason why it doesn't mention the Jews is because it was all the Jews. Did anything come up from the JFK files? Yeah. Turns out the CIA was doing some pretty fucked up, messed up, crazy shit. Like some evil fucking crazy shit. And that the KGB was definitely the most likely suspect in regards to all this. That's what happened. That's what came up. That's about it. Oh, and then America was fucking with Cuba a lot. That also was in the JFK files.
if someone calls after tomorrow and says, hey, I'm ready to make a change, he'd be open to that.
The president is always open to taking calls.
Okay. A question from one of our community members, Katie Reeves, is a school teacher in Wisconsin. She's taught K through 8 in public, independent, private, and private schools. And here's what she wanted me to ask you. She says, I see the elimination of the Department of Education as an excellent first step in the improvement.
We take those. Department of Education is gay and lame and retarded. Miss me all that shit. That is pathetic and stupid. The Department of Education. Thank you, Department of Education, for disciplining my child. How dare my child with a penis be a male? Thank God we have the Department of Education out there looking out for the young men and women with penises. I can't even say it on April Fool's, man. I can't even do it with a straight face. It's evil. Get out of here.
Of our school system, do you see any further role the federal government can take beyond this, possibly in promoting the expansion of voucher programs or reducing the influence that teachers' unions hold over our schools?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Katie for her service to our country and our nation's children. Being a teacher is the most noble profession that we believe one can have. And the president...
Well, they have nobility. They just don't get fucking paid. So, hey, it's whatever you want. Pick one or the other. You can either be noble or you can make a living. That's just life, I guess.
It said in his remarks when he signed the executive order to dismantle the Department of Education that he loves our teachers. And in part, this order is to empower our teachers to have greater decision making in the classroom. Nobody knows our nation's children and our students better than our teachers who are with them every single day. As for the federal government's role, to get to the heart of Katie's question, the president has made it clear to Linda McMahon that we need to find other places within our federal government for critical programs regarding education. Pell Grants, Title IX, lawsuits, etc., civil rights lawsuits, all of that are critical functions, special needs programs, nutrition programs, but there are other places throughout the federal bureaucracy where those things can happen and work. The Department of Education has been a very bloated bureaucracy. We spent trillions of dollars on this department, and for what? Our children are worse.
The Department of Education is a massive rabbit hole that I've already, I think, made 2 videos specifically about the Department of Education. First, talking about why it's absolute dog shit, and the second one celebrating when Trump tore it down, much to the dismay of the libtards. Pipe down, libtards! It's gonna be okay. Pipe down, libtards! But ultimately, it is a wildly bullshit system. The actual Department of Education is a joke. The billions of dollars that went into the Department of Education has only increased every single year, but the reading proficiency levels of the students have decreased every year. This is a sign of retardation. And once you get that graph, it's literally over. Like, there's a reason why everyone in the world is making fun of United States people being fucking idiots. And this is why. This is why, bro. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a mix of so many things. Obviously, I think a great teacher is very noble, but there's a lot of shitty teachers because teachers don't get paid. It's a bad system that needs to be kind of overhauled a little bit. But realistically, it's a massive step forward if you could absolutely cuck this system entirely, just destroy it.
Off as far as education goes today than they were when this department originated, and that's very concerning to the president.
It makes no sense that less people could read now than were able to read 20 years ago, and billions more are spent every single day, every single year now than a few years ago. So the fact that more money is going in and less students that could read are coming out, there's something wrong, buddy. And then you get the fucking people at the Department of Education. It's much more important for children to feel inclusive and trans positive on Trans Visibility Day than actually being able to read. It's like, come on, dog. What are we talking about? Wait, I'm just realizing something. Hold on. Am I realizing something insane? Because this is a real holiday, apparently. Trans Visibility Day. Okay, I thought it was on April 1st. That had me fucked up. All right, so apparently Transgender Visibility Day is the day before April 1st. All right, I thought that would be like the craziest shit in the world.
2 issues she cited are those of priorities for the president: school education choice, vouchers, and diminishing the role of teachers.
The president is very supportive of both of those things, particularly when it comes to school choice. He has said that school choice is the civil rights issue of our time, and he wants every child, regardless of zip code, socioeconomic status, how much money their parents have, to be able to go to the school of their choosing that best suits their educational needs, and he is going to empower state and local leaders to make those decisions.
No more kicking toddlers out of school if they're transphobic, which is a thing that happened in England. They kicked a toddler out of school because the toddler, the 4-year-old toddler, was transphobic. That's a true story. It happened yesterday. People are so cooked.
Decisions on behalf of our nation's children. Thanks for being here, Mark.
All right.
Jeff.
Moving on.
Just changing subjects for 1 second. The administration has expressed a complete confidence in how all the deportation flights to El Salvador were conducted. But now that the administration has conceded that there was an error.
Oh my God! This is the one. This is the one. She's gonna destroy him. I didn't see the clip, but I heard about this. People were telling me I had to watch this. Okay.
Salvadoran national. Will there be any reviews conducted? And does the president express any thoughts on the one error that was disclosed in court last night?
But before she answers the question, let me tell you something that's gonna hurt some feelings, but unfortunately, your parents didn't do this to you when you were younger, so Papa Nuxanor is gonna have to do it now. Collateral damage happens. Suck your own fuck. I know. It definitely hurts to hear things like this that sound completely ruthless, and my heart breaks for any innocent person that actually gets caught in the crossfire of literally anything. It's awful, it's tragic, it's bad, but suck your own fuck. Welcome to real life. 1 to 5% of people in prison are wrongly imprisoned. That doesn't mean you abolish the entire prison system, okay? That's not what you do. That's not the solution. You try your best to mitigate any collateral damage you possibly can, but realistically, unfortunately, it happens. If a terrorist bombs you and you bomb them back and an innocent person dies, that is a tragedy, but unfortunately, you can't just let terrorists bomb you without repercussions. AoE damage, unfortunately, is a real-life thing. So when they are sweeping up and they are deporting terrorists from the country, even if they get someone that isn't a terrorist, which, by the way, is tragic, and I'm sorry, and I wish they could rectify it, that doesn't mean you annul the entire system. That is what they called emotional blackmail, and I ain't falling for that shit, and I don't think you should either. We're in 2025, gamers. Stop feeling bad.
Well, first of all, the error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error.
Oh, yeah?
The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country.
Oh my god! Wait. So the error wasn't even like a real error? It was a clerical error? It wasn't an error that they deported the wrong guy? Bro, this was like another hoax. If that's true, it's a whole ass hoax. Because everyone was constantly talking about how and Trump, they deported someone that actually he was just a gay barber. He wasn't a terrorist. He was a gay barber. I can't believe this. Was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. Dude. It was a hoax. Again, I don't know who's telling the truth here. Obviously, media gonna media. I'm not gonna. I don't expect. I can't believe it was a hoax. It was an actual MS-13 terrorist. It was misinformation the whole fucking time. I can't believe it. Everyone, you know how many people came to tell me in my comment section and on Twitter trying to cancel me? Nux, did you know that they actually deported one person that actually wasn't a terrorist? And I'm like, well, I didn't respond because I don't respond to random comments on the internet because that unfortunately validates them and I don't want them to feel any form of validation. Instead, I will say here, suck your own fuck. However, it's also a hoax. It's not even true. Oh my god.
That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Fact number four is that foreign terrorists do not have legal protections in the United States of America anymore. And it is within the president's executive authority and power to deport these heinous individuals from American communities. It is a promise he campaigned on. It is a promise he is keeping. And every single person in this room should be grateful for that, considering especially MS-13 is very prevalent and prominent here in the District of Columbia.
Yeah, they're terrorists.
In Maryland and in Virginia, and the president, the attorney general, everyone who has been involved in these operations is focused on eradicating these criminals and terrorists from our communities.
Oh my god, she murdered that man. She hit him with the point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cooking with Karoline. Definitely subscribe for next week's episode of Cooking with Karoline. This is my favorite TV show since Hell's Kitchen.
The vice president said he was a convicted member of MS-13. What evidence is there to...
Bro, the evidence is in the hands of the fucking FBI, all right? Bro, okay, bro. Well, I love this question, what evidence? What do you mean, what evidence? Are they supposed to release video footage of this guy raping a corpse or something to satisfy you?
Back that up.
He's still trying, man. Oh, man.
There's a lot of evidence in the Department of Homeland Security.
Dude, did you see them all perk up? Look, they're all looking down. Look at them all look at her when she says there's a lot of evidence.
Is there to back that up?
There's a lot of evidence in the Department.
Every single person looks at her at the same time. Dude, these people in the media, they run with the same fucking bullshit hoaxes every single time. But what evidence is there? There is evidence. And they're just like, no!
Department of Homeland Security and ICE have that evidence, and I saw it this morning.
There's gotta be an IQ cap on being a reporter. I am telling you, there is no way they let anyone here with a above 85 IQ in the cold in this fucking room. Oh my god, dude. That's crazy. Cooking with Karoline. There is evidence. ICE has the evidence. I saw the evidence. Fuck you. That's what I want to hear.
Steve.
Has the president fully made up his mind on the level of tariffs to impose tomorrow? We keep hearing about a 20% flat rate.
The president said last night he has made a decision and a determination. I was with him in the Oval Office earlier, and he is going to announce that decision tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of the president. This is obviously a very big day. He's with his trade and tariff team right now, perfecting it to make sure this is a perfect deal for the American people and the
Bro, you know, Trump is... dude, Trump's got to do something funny with it. I'm telling you. My favorite thing about Trump is that he has a good sense of humor. All right, I'm just saying. We need Trump to walk out and be like, 20% flat tariff on every country except 21% tariffs to Canada. Because fuck you. I want to see that shit. I want to see something wildly petty. That's what I want to see. And again, I'm allowed to say that because I'm Canadian. And it would definitely hurt me, but it definitely is worth it anyway because it would be funny as hell.
American worker, and you will all find out in about 24 hours from now.
Are the car tariffs going to go into effect on April 3rd as scheduled?
Correct. Yes, they will.
And last thing, would you like to respond to the Chinese military drills around Taiwan?
Yes.
Chinese military drills. All right, that's big.
I would. As a matter of fact, the National Security Council briefed me on this morning, and they said that the president is emphasizing the importance of maintaining peace in the Taiwan Strait, encouraging the peaceful resolution of these cross-strait issues, reiterating our opposition to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion.
Damn.
That is directly from the National Security Advisor.
All right.
Just for you, Steve Holland of
Oh my God, she's so good.
Reuters.
Oh,
Monica.
it's for you, Steve Holland of Reuters.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Elon Musk this week revealed that DOGE found that the Biden administration issued over 2 million social
God, I'm so happy they're asking this question.
security numbers to illegal aliens, found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the social security system. Has the White House confirmed these numbers with Elon, and is the White House looking into correcting this?
I'm not sure about those specific numbers that Mr. Musk cited. I can tell you what the Social Security Administration has said themselves, according to an Inspector General's report that was conducted last year, showing there was nearly $80 billion worth of fraud in this program.
This is a lot of money. I wonder why there are Democrats that are angry that Elon Musk is auditing the government. I wonder why there are certain people, specifically Democrats, that are relatively against auditing this stuff. You see, if I was part of the government, I would be so grateful that this was audited. Well, unless I was a swindler and a fraudster, a flim-flammer and a scammer. And then I would probably be scared little shitless. Yeah. Calm your titties, AOC. Your time is coming.
We know for a fact there are individuals who should not be receiving benefits on the Social Security rolls, and this administration is focused on cleaning out the waste, fraud, and abuse in every agency, but particularly in Social Security.
Yeah, and this is why the fucking people on the left in the media are constantly saying, they're cutting Social Security. That's a lie and a hoax, and it's fear-mongering, and it's bullshit. They're not cutting Social Security. They are cleaning out the fraud in Social Security. Did you know? I covered this in my my Elon Musk video that I uploaded like a day or two ago. Did you know, get ready guys, that 40% of Social Security calls are fraud? 40%? So anyway, there is a lot of crazy shit that goes on in Social Security, and this is a massive W.
To make it stronger for our tax-paying, law-abiding citizens who deserve these entitlements and programs. Because you did bring up DOGE, I do want to tout the incredible efforts that have been made at the Environmental Protection Agency. And Administrator Lee Zeldin is just doing a tremendous job. Just yesterday and today it will be going into effect. He announced that taxpayers will be saved $8 million in annual lease costs by moving staff out of the 323,000 square feet of space that the EPA currently occupies, was completely unnecessary. Yesterday, Administrator Zeldin also announced he will be shutting down a museum that the Biden administration built to tell a selective story about the EPA's history and climate change. It was a real pat on the back.
Biden made a climate change museum? Oh, no. There's no way. Oh, Lord, stop, please.
To President Biden.
It can't get funnier.
And guess how much American taxpayers paid for it?
I'm going to guess $1 billion.
$4 million for
thank God. I was overdoing it.
this museum that I think only 1,000 visitors saw last year alone.
They spent $4 million on a tiny bitch museum that only had 1,000 visitors over the course of a year? Nah, dude. There's no way. They've got to stop this. This is fake. Oh my God. Why do they even need this? Don't we know that the Jews control the weather? Like, they didn't need this at all. Like, come on, man. Like, oh my God, dude. How is the Biden administration so proficient at losing money?
And it will cost American taxpayers $600,000 per year to operate this museum.
Oh my God, it gets worse and worse. Oh Lord. Oh, what is going on? What is happening? How are we living in the same reality as these idiots? Idiots! Brothers! They spent $4 million on a museum that they need to spend $600,000 a year on for upkeep. And it had 1,000 visitors the entire year. Assuming each of them spent $10 to get in, okay? They lost a fuck ton of money. What is going on? Oh my God, stop.
Well, it's not going to exist anymore. We're going to save taxpayers those critical funds. And Administrator Zeldin is very proud to announce that. And just at EPA alone, and the cuts that they have made, they've saved taxpayers more than $22 billion in wasteful grants and spending.
That's a massive W. That's why, again, the Elon Musk thing is the DOGE thing is literally the best thing in the fucking government. The fact that people don't know about this or don't respect it or think it's evil or call him a Nazi and are burning his cars, they're all retarded. They're fear-mongered sheep. These are people that, in my opinion, aren't worth the right to an opinion every once in a while. Look, I am all for freedom of speech, but if you are anti-DOGE, I don't think you should have the right to vote. Listen, man, I am all for revoking the right to vote from people that protest DOGE. Hot take. We need an IQ test before voting. Like, there needs to be, like, pass a 5th grade civics class or some shit. Like, there is no way. The Climate Museum is temporarily closed now, too. Oh, my God, stop. You can only get me this hard.
Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. When the president goes down to Florida on the weekend.
That was a joke, by the way. It's April Fool's. I believe in freedom of speech, and everyone should have the right to vote. However, we should imprison retards in these things called asylums.
Does he ever hear from, there are so many retired folks down in Florida. Does he ever hear from any retired Americans who are stressed about these wild swings in the stock market because of the tariff uncertainty, and they're sitting there on fixed income or living off a 401k, and they don't know how much money's going to be left?
Why ask it from the perspective of, like, this poor downtrodden retired old man scared for his future, terrified that perhaps he will run out of money because the stock market is sad? Why doesn't he ask a question like, hey, stock market's down, thoughts? Why do you have to ask it from the perspective of from the poor sad old man that's losing his money because of the stock market? Like, miss me with that shit and emotional bullshit.
Well, certainly they are legitimate concerns, and the president takes those concerns very seriously, and he's addressing them every single day. And tomorrow's announcement is to protect future generations of the senior citizens you mentioned. It's for their kids and their grandkids to ensure that there are jobs here in the United States of America for their children to live the American dream, just like they presumably did. And as for their worries about their 401ks, their Social Security, I just addressed Social Security. This president is always going to protect it for our tax-paying senior citizens.
Yeah, no, it's I hate the emotional, manipulative questions. Like, I really wish people would ask questions normally.
As for their 401ks, look at what...
I have someone in my chat that says, I don't get what's wrong with the Climate Change Museum. I will explain. It's a selective history climate change museum. That means it's not necessarily actually accurate, and it might just be a museum glazing the Biden administration. That's 1. 2, it lost a fuck ton of money. All right? That's 2. 3, and I think this is the most important of all, why should my tax dollars pay for Biden's freaking goddamn museum of climate change? Why should I be paying for that? If you want to pay for something, make sure it's designed to make its money back. Why does it need to come from me? That's the real answer. Stop!
President Trump did.
There are potholes in the roads, okay? There is shit on the streets. That should be cleaned before a pointless museum that's designed to lose money and propagate propaganda. Why should that exist? Come on, dude.
For you in his first term, he is working on implementing that economic formula every single day by lowering inflation, lowering energy prices, massive deregulatory efforts, while simultaneously effectively implementing tariffs. And they'll hear more about that announcement tomorrow.
And you said that the president right now is with the trade and tariff team. They are very confident that this is all going to work. But
Yes.
what if they're wrong?
They're not going to be wrong.
What is that smug question? What if they're wrong? They're not. What do you think she's gonna say? Well, then America's fucked. It's gonna sink into the ocean. What do you expect her to say?
It is going to work.
Yeah, the fear mongering never ends.
And the president.
I love how reporters have designed their questions not actually to get interesting answers, but they've designed their questions to give a narrative to the people that watch this that is the counter narrative to whatever the actual answers are going to be. It is incredibly sneaky. Like, wildly sneaky. Oh my god, it's sneaky as fuck. But more importantly, I need to keep this, like, on tab. I feel like I literally need to have this tabbed. It's so appropriate for so many situations.
Jane.
What if a break ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now, okay?
I need that, bro. I need that so much. I love this clip. But what if it fails? What if a bomb drops on your head, retard? That's not what he said, but it's what he meant.
The president has a brilliant team of advisors who have been studying these issues for decades, and we are focused on restoring the golden age of America and making America a manufacturing superpower. And again, Peter, I would point you to the investments that have already trickled into this country, and the president hasn't even made his tariff announcement yet tomorrow. There have been billions of dollars in private investments from around the world pouring into American communities. What does that look like for those watching at home, for the people you mentioned worried about their own economic circumstances? It means more jobs in your communities, which means more money, more investments, more money in your pocket. That's what the president is committed to. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the president's commitment to tax cuts, which we are counting on Congress to do.
Which, by the way, it bears repeating because the left likes lying about this. The tax cuts are only for the billionaires. It's an oligarchy. Elon Musk is buying the government to fund his tax cuts. It's a fake lies. It's all for the oligarchy. Bears repeating. Tax cuts are primarily for the middle class. That is proved by every economist that actually looked at this shit. All right? So miss me with your oligarchy bullshit.
Especially on Social Security.
And one more.
Sure.
Are the special elections today a referendum on the president?
I think first of all, as you know, I'm a government employee now, so I'm not very much allowed to comment on elections that are taking place. That's something to get used to, having just been on the campaign trail for quite some time. But the president is the leader of the America First movement and the MAGA movement. And that was made very clear on November the 5th when he received nearly 80 million votes. I could also say...
All 7 swing states, all 7 of them, literally all of them, we're turning them into red states from swing states. We are getting new states like Canada and Greenland. They are the new swing states. True.
Say that it is the constitutional right of every law-abiding American in these places where these elections are being held to vote, and every American should exercise their constitutional rights. Sure.
Thanks, Karoline. A few questions about this deportation case. First, I wanted to clarify something that you said to Jeff a few minutes ago. You said you'd seen evidence that this man was a convicted gang member.
All right.
In what court was he convicted and for?
Oh my fucking god, you've got to stop. You've got to stop.
What?
Evidence. Do people not know what evidence means? Do people not know what evidence means? What is going on?
This individual was an MS-13 ringleader. This individual was also engaged.
You need a judge to say that? Or what if they admit it? Does that count for anything? Even if a judge didn't hear them admit it? What if they're caught on tape? What if there's literal video footage of this guy murdering and raping people, but a judge didn't confirm that it's murder and rape? What then?
Engaged in human trafficking, and I'm glad you brought up this point again.
What if a bomb falls on your head? I'm sorry.
And because I would like to point out that if you just saw the headline from the insane failing Atlantic magazine this morning, you would think this individual was Father of the Year, living in Maryland, living a peaceful life.
I mean, that is the hoax. That is exactly what I thought, to be honest. I did not know. I thought they literally arrested the wrong guy. Because that's how the media literally made it look. For those of you that didn't actually see this, the media said Trump deported and imprisoned the wrong fucking guy, an innocent man, essentially. And it turns out that's just not true. It turns out that this was like an actual terrorist leader guy.
When that couldn't be further from the truth. They didn't even mention in the title of that article or even in the first paragraph that this individual is an illegal criminal who broke our nation's immigration laws. He is a leader in the brutal MS-13 gang, and he is involved in human trafficking, and now MS-13 is a designated foreign terrorist organization. Foreign terrorists have no legal protections in the United States of America, and this administration is going to continue to deport foreign terrorists and illegal criminals from our nation's interior.
But a judge ordered that he should remain in this country.
Oh my fucking fucking God, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? You know, honestly, I don't think Trump should run for a third term. If he really wanted to get more power, I really think that Trump should become a little Obama-appointed judge in fucking teeny-weeny, itty-bitty fucking bullshit no man's land, Albuquerque. And that's what he should really do. If he really wants real power, he should become a little gay judge in the middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a way to give him more power.
So are you saying that it is okay to...
These people don't understand how judgeship works, okay? They don't realize judges can't just tell the president, you can't tie your shoelaces today, Mr. President. Sorry, judge ordered it.
Or a judge's ruling if you don't like it.
Who does that judge work for?
He's an immigration
It was
judge.
an immigration judge who works for the Department of Justice at the direction of the Attorney General of the United States, whose name is Pam Bondi, who has committed to eradicating MS-13 from our nation's interior. And let me tell you why we've made this commitment. MS-13, may I remind each and every one of you, is a brutal and vicious gang. They raped and strangled a 20-year-old autistic woman to death in Maryland. They hacked 4 people to death with machetes in a park on Long Island. They have kidnapped, sexually tortured, and shot a teenage girl in Texas after she insulted them, allegedly. Killed and mutilated a 17-year-old girl in Virginia, stabbing him 16 times and cutting off his hands. They cut out the heart of a man in Washington, D.C. They raped and murdered a 13-year-old girl in California. They sex trafficked a slew of young girls, including one who was just 12 years old. Raped an 11-year-old girl in Brooklyn while her brother was in the room. Sex trafficked a 13-year-old in Maryland and Virginia. Miles away from this White House, even beating her 26 times on her backside with a baseball bat. Pressured homeless New Yorkers to undergo unnecessary surgeries such as spinal fusion in order to bolster their fraudulent lawsuits. These are vicious criminals. This is a vicious...
Yeah, this is the shit that no one wanted to say, but she had to pull it out. She had to pull it out. Oh my God.
Gang. And I wish that the media would spend just a second of the same time.
It would be really nice if the media had as much empathy for the actual victims of these crimes than they have for the criminals.
Time you have spent trying to litigate each and every individual of this gang who has been...
Literally true. It's unbelievable. Every single one of these fucking guys, every single one of these terrorists gets like this actual media defense force. They come together. The Democrats come together to sing Kumbaya by the campfire and talk about why they deserve more rights and shit.
Deported from our country as the innocent Americans whose lives have been lost at the hands of these brutal criminals. We maintain our position, and very strongly so. Jennifer.
One more on the...
Bro, reporter is dead. It's over. Holy shit. And she was there, sitting there. How do you know? What about the little district judge,
Tariffs. Can you say what the latest thinking is on the start date? I know you were just in the Oval. Are they all going to take effect this week on the reciprocal tariffs? And whenever they start, is that enough time for companies and everyone involved to adjust to that start date?
My understanding is that
they should have already been adjusting. Trump said that they were fucking doing this on April 2nd months ago. They had time to adjust.
Tariff announcement will come tomorrow. They will be effective immediate. And the president has been teasing this for quite some time, as you know. He's talked a lot about April 2nd as Liberation Day in America. It would be taking place today if not for April Fool's Day. But tomorrow will be the day, and he's been talking about it for a while. And as a result, you've seen these companies make commitments to investing right here in the United States. Jasmine.
Thank you so much. I wonder, back on tariffs, if any market indicators is the White House looking for to see if this tariffs plan is successful down the line?
Well, look, the president has been asked and answered this question about the stock market and whether he's watching it. And I've said, and he has said, the market is a snapshot in time. Yesterday, Dow futures were up. And there's been a lot of talk about the market, and it was up yesterday.
All right, but Karoline, I don't know if you've considered all of this. What if, I don't know if you've thought of this, but what if one of the terrorists is a lizard person imposter, and the real person is not the innocent lizard person that you're actually deporting? I think that you didn't think this through, Karoline. But what if...
So, look, the president wants to ensure that all Americans make out well, particularly Main Street. That's the focus of these tariffs. But as I've said repeatedly, just like they were in his first term, Wall Street will be just fine. Shelby.
Thanks. A bipartisan pair of senators sent a letter to the president today arguing that the recent strikes in Yemen are emboldening the Houthis and saying that Congress has not...
That's retarded. Every terrorist, okay, this is terrorist playbook 101, all right? They get the fucking shit bombed out of them. They lose like 5 leaders and their upper management and tons of their shit. You know what their first thing is? The first thing they do is, we're stronger than ever. That's what they say because they're terrorists and liars. They don't want to say, oh, damn, you really crippled us, guys. That's crazy. Can you stop, please? Why does everyone jump to believe terrorists? It's the same thing in Israel with Hamas. Hamas says things, the entire world is like, holy shit, Hamas said it must be true. What are we talking about?
Authorized war against them. Is the administration planning to consult with Congress at some point or going forward regarding the strikes, and any response on the letter?
Well, I would absolutely reject Congress's claims. Who made those claims in Congress?
Senator Jeff Merkley and Rand Paul.
Okay, well, I would absolutely reject those claims. These Houthi strikes have been incredibly successful. Last time I was at this podium, there were more than 100 successful strikes. There have now been over 200 successful strikes against the Houthis. Iran is incredibly weakened as a result of these attacks, and we have seen they've taken out Houthi leaders. They've taken out critical members who were launching strikes on naval ships and on commercial vessels, and this operation will not stop until the freedom of navigation in this region is restored, which is a critical principle, and this president stands behind our Defense Department, who's doing a tremendous job.
Incredibly based. The reporter's an idiot, and the Congress people that actually said that are fools. It's like, you're bombing Houthi terrorists, and they're like, do you think that this is actually making the Houthi terrorists stronger? What the fuck, you think the Houthi terrorists are powerplex? Dog, what are you talking about? They're killing leaders of terrorist organizations, and they're like, but what if this makes them stronger? It's not.
Is the White House going to confer with Congress going forward on this?
I would have to ask our team here at the White House, but the president is well within his authority, as is the Secretary of Defense. Again, these are defensive strikes. The Houthis have been launching attacks on U.S. naval vessels and commercial ships for quite some time.
And innocent civilians. Honestly, fuck all of them. I don't think you realize they have been shooting missiles daily into regular Israeli civilian cities, like every single day for the last 2 weeks. These are monsters. They're actual monsters. And good riddance. Sorry, Luffy, but you're no longer in one piece.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The pause on the Canadian and Mexican tariffs, the fentanyl tariffs, that's set to expire tomorrow. Is the president considering extending that pause?
Look, I will let
ask the president
speak on the specifics of the tariffs tomorrow. But as for fentanyl, we have seen this has certainly caused a national security crisis here in the United States. Fentanyl continues to be the #1 killer of young people in this country, and the president is very much focused on that.
Thank you, Karoline. The president recently signed an executive order on making D.C. safe and beautiful. On the campaign trail, he talked about making New York great again. Does he have any plans on establishing a similar task force? Has he been pressuring Governor Hochul in any way in his conversations about New York and lowering crime?
He has been in correspondence with Governor Hochul quite a bit on the issue of crime, also on the issue of congestion pricing, and so many other issues that are facing New Yorkers. And he wants New York to clean up their streets just as he does here in Washington, D.C. He also speaks to Mayor Adams as well. So he's engaged with state and local leaders across the entire country to ensure they're doing their part to help American citizens in each and every state, regardless of if it's a red state or a blue state.
A question on Russia. Yesterday, the Russian government said that their new goal is 160,000 conscripts for the war. Has the president seen that number? And does he have any response given his recent conversations on peace talks?
Well, I can tell you what the president said last night.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's like Russia and Ukraine, both of them don't really want peace. Both of them don't really want peace, and Trump is there. Like, I feel like he's like literally trying to like herd kittens. Like, it's impossible. Oh my God, it's wild.
And that is, he is frustrated with leaders on both sides of this war. He wants this war to end. There are men that are dying on both sides, and it's been going on for far too long. Our team continues
Never would have started if I was president.
To be engaged with the Russians as we are with the Ukrainians, and the president continues to be very, very much engaged on this topic every single day.
Caroline, the president said over the weekend that he couldn't care less if prices went up on foreign cars because people buy more American.
Now they're talking about foreign cars. Guys, did no one mention the fact that egg prices are down by 63%? No one mentioned that. Eggs don't matter anymore. All right. Anyway, just made sure that we're on the same page.
Cars. There's been consensus from a lot of economists that these tariffs could raise prices on other goods as well. Is the president comfortable with Americans on Main Street paying more because of these tariffs?
The president is doing everything he can, and this entire administration is doing everything we can to bring down the cost of living in this country. An inflation mess that was fueled by the previous administration's reckless spending, overburdensome regulations that this administration is focused on slashing every single day. I just read you a statistic just from the Environmental Protective Agency alone. We're saving taxpayers money that's ultimately going to drive down inflation, and we're unleashing the might of our energy industry, which will bring down prices as well. To the heart of your question, because this is very important to the American people, you should trust what this president did for you in his first term. He effectively utilized tariffs while driving.
The economy was good in Trump's first term until COVID. Not gonna lie, she is right. Like, when there's a new president and you don't know, like, what are you gonna do? You know, like you can't talk about that shit when there's a new president. But when realistically, it's a president that's already proven that he's been good for the economy. Damn.
Driving down inflation. It was a record low 1.4% when he left office, and he's focused on getting back to that. It's unfortunate the previous administration left us in this mess.
Biden? It's because of Biden, that guy, Biden.
Representative Anna Paulina Luna left the Freedom Caucus over their lack of support for her bill that would allow new parents to proxy vote around 12 weeks around the birth of their baby. Does the president support that bill?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually talked to the president about that bill, but I certainly can and can get a take on if he supports it or not.
Thank you. And one more. The D.C. Circuit ruled last week that the president can fire holdover Biden appointees of independent agencies. Will this ruling empower President Trump to dismiss more federal employees?
Well,
maybe. I think that, okay, dude, stop with this shit, all right? Why should there be more federal employees that we don't need? Like, there is no way this makes sense. There's no way it makes any sense. Why should the taxpayer pay for employees that are unnecessary? This is obvious. Come on, people. Oh, but the poor government employees that are taking American money for nothing in return. Come on, people. Work at McDonald's. Contribute.
The president has given the responsibility to his
trim the fat, baby.
Cabinet secretary to hire and fire at their respective agencies, and they reserve that right. You saw the Secretary of Health and Human Services announced more layoffs today. This is all part of the administration's effort for a mass reduction in force in the federal bureaucracy here in Washington, D.C. to save American taxpayers money. As for...
yeah, but Karoline, what if Tyranids land on the Holy Terror? Would that actually be an issue for the Imperium of Man?
Agencies within the president's executive authority, the president retains that right. And we've seen there have been bureaucrats at some of these agencies that have been trying to act independent. They need to remember who they work for. It's the executive of the executive branch.
Everyone working for the president works for the president. Even if they didn't like him, even if they didn't vote for him, even if they were appointed by the other guy, they work for him. So do your job and get the fuck out. Pack your bags. I fully support this. Listen, maybe it's my inner Jew, but if I would have an employee that wasn't working, I would fire him. Like, literally. I think that's obvious.
You look at the United States Institute of Peace, for example. There was a little bit of a standoff with bureaucrats over there who didn't want to realize who they work for, and that is Donald Trump. And President Trump is focused on streamlining these
whether you like him or not. You know, sometimes people have shitty bosses. Sometimes people don't like their bosses. So if this guy is their boss, they gotta just suck it up and do their job, or they could, quite frankly, get the fuck out. Come on, guys.
Is to save American taxpayers money, and he has every right to do that.
Karoline.
Sure. Go ahead.
Thanks, Caroline. In Gaza, the bodies of 15 rescuers have been found in their sort of ambulances where they were apparently killed by Israeli forces. I'm just wondering if the White House is going to be calling on Israel to investigate that and to try and avoid similar casualties involving rescue workers in the future.
Well, as for the specific situation you just mentioned, I'll talk to the president about it and our national security team. What I can tell you is what I've spoken with the president on. He very much remains committed to backing Israel. And it was only because of this president and his team's leadership that we had a temporary ceasefire in Gaza, that we were able to bring many hostages home. And the president made it very clear to Hamas, you get the hostages out, all of them, or there will be hell to pay. And Hamas is certainly witnessing what it feels like for all hell to be paid, and the president supports Israel's right to defend itself.
Is at all on a ceasefire at the moment, as far as the president's concerned?
The president and his team continue to be engaged on this every single day. Sure.
Look, the goal is to get the hostages back. That's ultimately the main goal. That and wiping out Hamas. Those are the two goals that Israel has been trying to do the entire time. Like, obviously, a ceasefire would be really nice if the hostages could come back, but damn, it's crazy. It's so wild that every question asked individually, it really feels like it doesn't actually tackle the scope of what actually goes on a lot. But anywho,
Go ahead,
So I'm just wondering, related to that, if you have an approximate date for the president's first foreign trip. I think there was a little confusion yesterday about what month he was talking about. And then will he need a ceasefire to be in place or closer, either in Gaza or in Ukraine, before that takes place?
The president will be heading to Saudi Arabia in May. As for specific dates and details, we will be reading those out to you as soon as we possibly can. I know our teams are working on the details of that trip. And then again, as for a ceasefire, the president's made it clear that's what he wants to see in Russia and Ukraine, and his team continues to be engaged on it every day.
Signal, you said case closed yesterday. As that case was closed, do you have anything that you can share about what was learned, how this can be avoided in the future, any sort of findings from that investigation?
The case is closed, and the president continues to have confidence in his national security.
when you said the case was closed, are you sure the case is closed? Yes, reporter, the case is closed. Any more questions?
The advisor.
But there's a gay judge in North Dakota that seems to disagree with your opinion.
Yes, Kelly. Kelly.
Thanks, Karoline. So
Sorry,
the president
Ed.
has said...
Ed, I'll come to you after.
The president has
I'm
said...
glad you're so eager to ask a question.
It's Liberation Day.
Yes, it is.
Caroline, the president has said foreign
Tomorrow.
countries and companies will eat the cost of tariffs. In his speech on Inauguration Day, he said, quote, instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax other countries to enrich our citizens.
Right.
So then why did he have to tell the domestic automakers not to raise prices?
Well, that was a private conversation that was had. I'm not sure if that comment was made or was not made. But as for what the president said in his Inauguration Day speech, he's absolutely correct. A tariff will be a tax on these foreign nations, these foreign companies, and if they want to be absolved of that tariff, then they can come here to the United States of America to do business, bring their...
Okay, but Caroline, what if Madara drops a second meteor? I love these questions so much. What if prices do go up, though? All right, we'll deal with that, I guess.
Jobs here. Edward, go ahead.
Thank you. So Canadians have been negotiating.
My chat is killing me. It's flooded with people asking Miss Karoline what-if scenarios that are, like, insane. And it's not fair, because you guys are hilarious. But Miss Karoline, what if we were step-siblings and you were stuck in a dishwasher? What the fuck, chat? That's fucked, man. Stop, bro. Too many, guys.
With the Commerce Secretary over the trade, the tariffs. How many companies are mutually talking with the U.S. or countries are mutually talking with the U.S. to lower tariffs?
I don't have a specific number, but I can tell you there have been quite a few countries that have called the president and have called his team in discussion about these tariffs. But again, there's one country the president cares most about, and it's the United States of America, and doing what's best for the people who elected him to this office to restore their jobs, their wealth, and their prosperity. I'm looking at the clock. I have a hard out today. Excuse me, I have a hard out today because I'm actually heading over to the State Department.
Oh, she's here with a hard out?
With the First Lady of the United States. She will be delivering remarks at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the 19th International Women of Courage Award ceremony with our great Secretary of State Marco Rubio. That starts at 1. This is the 5th year Mrs. Trump is participating and standing with brave women leaders who embody American values abroad. And the First Lady in her remarks today will highlight the profound connection between the love and courage that will be shown by this year's honorees. I encourage everybody to tune in at 1 o'clock, and then we'll see you all tomorrow for Liberation Day.
I mean, she didn't answer what would happen if Goku and Superman fought, but other than that, she absolutely cooked. She definitely did a fantastic job. She's such a badass, honestly. She goes in, she says her piece, she doesn't let these reporters bully her with these emotional attacks, which is consistent and constant, and it is so nice to see this incredible shit and how she absolutely destroys them. When she listed out that list of crimes, it's like, but what if they weren't a criminal? And she's like, they are a criminal and these are the crimes. It was awesome. And to be honest, I really love this level of transparency with these press briefings. The truth is, I wasn't going to even react to this one, but so many people in my comments request me to react specifically to the press briefings. I think it's funny. I think it becomes a nice community moment for everyone to catch up on everything that's going on and make fun of retards, which is literally the greatest thing ever. I am an educational channel and also entertainment channel. Isn't that nice? Anyway, chat. Let's continue to make fun of retards. We don't want them to get complacent in their tardishness. And we'll see you in the next one, baby. More breast briefings next week. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.